So obviously you can see tomatoes. We're always growing tomatoes here, probably more than we should.
Community gardens are natural spaces within cities and towns that provide spaces for members to plant and grow their own produce. They are common all over the world as they provide people with the space for gardening they may not have at home. Community gardens offer a social, creative outlet and food security as well.
I am the farm manager here at Boulder Knoll Community Farm. We are a sort of a cooperative operation. It's very loose, where people rent plots and grow their own food. They come to me for tips and that sort of thing. And then I also work with members of a CSA, Community Supported Agriculture. It's technically not a CSA. They call themselves Seeds and Weeds. So I help them get set up and do their growing and that sort of thing. And I'm also the director of a nonprofit called All Corners Farm, based here in Cheshire, and we grow organic produce for soup kitchens and pantries and other organizations that are helping people with food insecurity issues.
Like Boulder Knoll, the SCSU Campus Community Garden, located in New Haven, Connecticut, does their part by growing fresh produce and helping out their community. The Campus Community Garden at Southern has been growing ever since its installment in 2012. Any department, class, club, or individual can speak to the Office of Sustainability to claim a spot in the garden to grow their own vegetables, fruit, herbs, or flowers. They use organic gardening methods in the Campus Community Garden. When a damaging pest or mildew appears, they work with 100% natural solutions to solve the problem. Their new partnerships with New Haven Farms and CARE, Community Alliance for Research and Engagement, are helping them improve their farming practices, increase their yield, and connect more effectively with the neighboring community. They donate their produce to local soup kitchens and food pantries. And over the summer, their partnership offers a community garden nutrition program, providing weekly lessons in gardening, cooking, and nutrition, as well as a weekly share of fresh produce to volunteer families from nearby neighborhoods. As always, help is welcomed and needed to design, maintain, and water and harvest the garden.
So to get a plot here at Boulder Knoll, one needs only to find Boulder Knoll, or Friends of Boulder Knoll, I think is how it is on Facebook. Send a message and say, I'm interested in farming, and someone will get back to them. Members of the board really do that outreach and collect the money, and then I'm here to answer any questions, get people involved, whatever they need, make recommendations, help get their beds established, etc. This year was a big year for us. We had 20 or so families. Last year we didn't have nearly as many, and I think that I attribute that to COVID. There was a real concern that there were going to be food shortages, and there may still be, and also people were shut in their homes for several months. They wanted to get out, and I think it's sort of getting out here and doing that kind of checked all those boxes for people. So we had a big turnout. We reclaimed a lot of land this year, which was where a lot of my effort was, and I think a lot of people are going to return next year. And that just gives us more opportunity to sort of build this culture, especially in a historically farming community like Cheshire. I think that bringing everybody back to the land and reconnecting them with it is great, and I hope we're able to do more next year. But yeah, we had at least a 100% increase over last year, so it's good. Obviously, you can see tomatoes. We're always growing tomatoes here, probably more than we should or that anybody wants. And even the pantries, a lot of the times, we have too many tomatoes. Like last year, Cheshire Pantry said, we've got enough tomatoes, please no more. But there's always somebody that wants them. So tomatoes, cucumbers are commonly grown here, peppers. The Seeds and Weeds group that I work with here, they're big into beets and turnips. We get a lot of people grow broccoli and cauliflower, cabbage, and those are with varying degrees of success. We have a lot of weird bugs and stuff that thrive on those things. Mostly people are growing like the summer vegetables, and then Some folks will grow like the winter squash and that sort of thing. Summer squashes are kind of popular. Zucchini's kind of popular. We had a family over here who grew celery, did pretty well with that. So yeah, it's a nice variety. You know, I hope people will explore more, try different things, and experiment and see what happens. I have not banned anything. What I'm mostly concerned about is people being mindful of what they're planting next to their neighbors so that they don't accidentally blight or attract something that's going to hurt somebody else's crops. You know, for instance, if somebody wanted to grow potatoes, I would say, you know, let's not put you next to a bed where people are growing tomatoes because they share a lot of the same diseases. So if one gets contaminated, the other can get contaminated. I think that's mostly my philosophy about that, but I think people should grow whatever they want. Just caveat emptor, you might be growing something that attracts groundhogs or, you know, attracts some other animal, squirrels might eat your corn or whatever, but we don't discourage anybody from growing anything, really. I think they're amazingly beneficial, and we see it everywhere. There's a group of neighbors in Detroit that are reclaiming properties in their neighborhood and they're building gardens, and I think any opportunity for people to grow their food in whatever setting is vital, because it gives everybody a connection to their environment, it gives them a skill, it gives them food, it brings communities together. The efforts that I've seen around the country in urban farming are, you know, neighborhoods are reclaiming properties that have been abandoned, properties that have been junk heaps, anything that contributes to neighborhood revitalization, anything that generates economic capital, political capital through community building, helps eliminate food scarcity is good. And it also helps us rethink urban planning.
Reservoir Community Farm, under the Green Village Initiative, is an urban farm located in Bridgeport, Connecticut, that offers fantastic resources to the community. Residents can participate in workshops and volunteer to learn about growing fruits and vegetables. The farm is also an educational site for their youth leadership program and school field trips. Fresh produce is grown at RCF without the use of pesticides, then sold at affordable places at their farm stand on Thursdays and Saturdays. On the last Thursday of each month, June through October, RCF partners with SNAP for CT and Chef Raquel from A Pinch of Salt to hold community nights for families in the area. Here you'll find cooking demos, nutrition games and info, gardening activities, snacks, and giveaways.
The more people are growing locally where they are, and the less we're transporting food, that's less fuel that's being used, that's less environmental impact, that's, you know, more people gaining their own stability and support and their own independence, whether it be from government or corporate structures that don't serve them. You know, it's good. Everything's all politics is local, and food production should be the same. Again, that sort of thing checks all those boxes. So I think that, you know, whether it's urban farming, people are doing their own home gardens, whether they're doing situations like this where they're going to cooperative farms like this, any of those things, any and all of those things are good, and you know, and we support it for sure. Community farms on a raised bed, you know, get a kit, put it together, find a local supplier of compost, soil, and whatnot, and fill her up, and then plant whatever you want. Is a really easy way to start for people. You know, a lot of community farms, there's one up in Newington where they prepare the plots for you, and then you come in and you plant. Most importantly, grow the things you like to eat. Don't feel like you have to, you know, go crazy and grow all sorts of exotic things. Grow what you like and take your time. It's going to be, when you're especially if you're establishing a home garden, it's going to be a major layout of labor and potentially expense at the beginning. But don't be discouraged by that. That first year is always tough because you got to get everything established. But once you do, it pays off and will pay for itself, whether it's bringing your family together or just having something delicious to eat.
A community garden is more than a beautiful green space full of fresh food in an urban or country area. It's a place where people can connect and learn new gardening techniques, as well as providing food security and making their communities healthier. Would you join or start a community garden? What would you grow? Search for your nearest community garden to start your new and exciting gardening journey.